start with the easiest one. Number one, be a white dude. It's easier. Now, seriously, it's much easier. Now, I'm not saying anything that most people don't know. But your average board member is a white male age 61 years young. And when I went through a process of looking to sort of maximize my odds of joining a corporate board, I started by actually looking for boards that were mostly white dudes. And it turns out that's not much of a differentiator. There are basically no boards that I could find that were 50% non-white or 50% women. There are a few that flirt with 50% women or even slightly more. And if you go to Scandinavia, there are now governments run by women, which is a odd and terrifying thought, I suppose, to a white male age 61 sitting on a U.S. corporate board. But here we are. It's so rare. I actually estimated that roughly 70% of U.S. boards are white dudes, and that used U.S. Census data and board director data, which is why someone like Ed Liddy, still sitting on the board of Boeing, can celebrate 10 years on Boeing's board, 10 years on Abbott Laboratories board, and 20 years on 3M's board going into 2020. He is a master of multiple board seats for a really long period of time. And it's also why we can celebrate brilliant reports like the one that came out from Intel this year that basically dissected undressed. They undressed themselves. And did it publicly, going over the diversity and the pay, really the pay gaps between different demographics at Intel. They put it all out there in a very sort of refreshing way. And turns out Intel is actually one of the good guys. Intel, despite loving white people almost as much as they love Asians, they're actually one of the good guys. We estimated using data from the amazing David Frazier in one of our Matt Makes segments. We came up with something called the Black Hispanic discount ratio, in which we kind of reviewed all of the data out there about employee demographics and found that relative to the talent available to some companies, there are some companies that actually like minority employees, despite the fact that, they may be mostly white. They actually overutilize, it's wrong, but they maximize their talent pool. But the vast majority of companies, you won't be surprised to hear, for which we had data, do not do that. So lesson number one for 2019. And maybe it's the most obvious lesson of all time. And maybe I can say this because it's like, I'm a white guy. This stuff's new to you. Getting woke is new. Be white. It's easier. Just be a white male. That just makes everything